everybody, and welcome to this spooktacular episode of the Elseworlds Exchange, rolling out with week 2 of 4, I think?
I guess. I haven't crunched the numbers. I'll take your word for it.
I think we're good. I think that the last episode actually will be on Wednesday, Halloween Day.
Nice.
From the Halloween rolling out of Elseworlds Exchange. We don't even have like a spooky name or an alternate title for the Elseworlds Exchange. I don't know what it would be.
The Helseworld Exchange.
Helseworlds. I like that, although we might get demonetized because we use the word hell in the title.
This is true.
Either way, welcome, boys and ghouls, or frighteners and frightenettes. We're going to be talking about the devil in comics and ancillary comic-related type properties.
So raise your horns for Dark Lord Satan.
That's right. We're doing it. We are worshiping the devil. Hide your parents. Put your D&D sets, or take out your D&D first editions out from under your bed, and we'll get ready to pull out your Motley Crue tapes, because we are going to be worshiping, or Meatloaf.
Oh yeah, Bat Out of Hell, Back to Hell, all the hell-centric albums.
That's right. So we're going to be jumping into a little bit. This is a fun topic because there are a lot of different variants on the devil. So few of them are like the devil, and it's for me so bizarre because, like, okay, so the idea of the devil. When we're talking about the devil, who are we talking about? We're talking about the Prince of Darkness himself, the Lord of Hell and Prince of Lies, Lucifer. AKA
the fallen one,
the man downstairs, the dude who pushes us against our better nature, or pushes us towards our true nature, if you will.
Depending where you fall on that biblically, I've always enjoyed that.
It's true, and so we're talking about like representations of the devil. We're not going to talk about demons, sub-demons, lesser demons.
That's
Violator be a great topic, but no, the Violator is a soldier in the devil's army, and for a long time, the expectation and understanding, particularly in, like, let's say Spawn, for example, Malebolgia was the devil. And I remember
that's what we always thought.
That's what we thought for a good long time. I remember in multiple books, I remember Spawn used to insist, like, there's only one, it's the devil, and he has a true name, and it's Malebolgia. I remember in Batman Spawn, or Spawn Batman, he says, when you meet Satan, say hello for me. It's a kind of a little joke, but it's also, because if it said Malebolgia, that would mean that Frank Miller read Spawn, which of course he doesn't. But it's interesting that after a while, McFarlane must have just gotten bored with that concept and was like, no, okay, so here's the deal. There's multiple hells. They all exist layers. In a tower or something. And each ruler of that level is their own kind of specific devil.
Yeah.
But there is a devil, a ruler of hell, and his name is Satan in the Spawn universe. But
that didn't come till way later. They retconned that shit.
Yeah, that happened in, I think he debuts, I'm sure he debuts earlier, but I remember his like full debut, or when he reveals himself to Spawn, is in issue 100, which was my last Spawn issue of all time. But yeah, leading up to that point, Malebolgia, he kind of exemplifies everything that you kind of, okay. Spawn is emblematic of a fundamental misunderstanding of Judeo-Christian mythology. It's just the most cursory, minimalistic understanding of images, themes, tropes, and ideas without having any roots in actual mythology and understanding.
It's like McFarlane never went to Sunday school, but he had friends who did. And he's like, yeah, tell me about that Jesus stuff. Yeah, but what if it was awesome, though?
Exactly. No, I have no doubt that, I mean, like, here's the thing. If you're into the metal, if you're into the occult, if you're into, just all kinds of things that if you're 13, 14, you are way into, then
I know I was.
Then you're going to, like, and here's the thing. Every house, at least in my neck of the woods, had some form of a Bible in it, and if it didn't, they were super cheap or readily available.
You ever stay at a hotel?
Exactly. So all you got to do is just leave to the end, get over to that book of Revelations from John, and just dig in. You get all kinds of fun, weirdo, bizarre, allegorical references to things that are literally happening at the time that the book was being written. But so as such has no real true bearing on what's happening in the real world, but especially the contemporary world. But it has some fun, cool visuals. But even then, those fun, neat visuals are not present in things like Spawn. Like, Spawn is just like, well, the hell, you do bad things, you go there. I think there's a devil involved. All the rest of them in a makeup, like cool uniforms.
Yep.
That are also living costumes. But yeah, Malebolgia kind of exemplified that. He's twisted. He has a terrible sense of humor. He's cruel and mean spirited. He's
larger than life sometimes.
Yeah, larger than life, can change his size depending, but usually portrays himself as being much larger, much larger. But yeah, and I loved the turn when it went from Malebolgia rules hell to Malebolgia is one of the rulers of hell.
He's a cog in a machine.
And he's not even really that good at it.
No.
Like, nobody really likes him. He's like the most unpopular ruler in hell, but people put up with him because he's the guy who's in charge of spawns.
That's his pet project.
Yeah, I make spawns. I usually try to intercept the coolest, most badass souls that come down. I usually grab them. I'm like, hey, you need something? I'll give you a living costume and a rad outfit, and I'll send you up back topside, have you shoot some cool green necroplasm, and then you'll immediately come back down here, and I'll make fun of you for 1,000 years. Like, it's just, I loved that idea and that relationship between Spawn and Malebolgia. This idea of him being like a very like real character, Malebolgia. Yeah. But also being, I don't know, unattainable. Anytime you saw him, he's always just laughing at like the misery that Spawn has asked himself to go through.
And there's plenty of that. Then you get your other masters of the other layers of hell. Mammon was the other guy.
Yes, Mammon.
Who is very much the devil's advocate type of devil, where he's not a monster, he's just an otherworldly man in a suit.
Yes, it's true. And that, I think, plays heavily into the idea. There's these... Okay, so in actual scripture, there is Satan, but there's also a character named Hasatan. And Hasatan is a kind of normal character who meets Jesus in the desert.
And tempts him.
And he's actually more of like a devil's advocate, if you will.
Yeah.
He's the person, I believe he's the one who makes the deal, or not the deal, but he's the one who strikes the bargain with God in the story of Job. And Hasatan...
I bet Job wouldn't love you if you took away all his shit.
Right. Hasatan is more of like an arbitrator. He's the kind of person who's like, yeah, but like, he's definitely not like the ruler of hell, but he definitely is. For me, he represents kind of like the mouth of Sauron a little bit, where it's like, I don't like, he can speak for himself, but like he doesn't need to because I'm here and I will make the deals.
And that's one of my favorite versions of the devil, the one where it's like, I give you the rope to hang yourself. You did this to yourself.
Yeah, it's easy to make the devil red and Machiavellian and a jerk and just say, he's the reason why everyone does bad things. But don't worry, because he exists in the Marvel Universe and his name is Mephisto.
Boy, is he ever.
Like, Mephisto is the most base, obvious, on-the-nose portrayal of the devil, while also simultaneously not being the devil.
Which they make a solid point of saying that.
And yet they also make like pains to get you to just basically take for granted the fact that Malebolgia is the devil. They refer to him as the devil. Anytime that they refer to the deal that Blaze strikes, they're talking about the deal with the devil. It's only when you're dealing in cosmology in Marvel that you get into the, like, no, that guy is not the devil. He can be anything. He chooses to be that because he knows that it bothers people.
Right, he's playing the part. He's playing a role.
Exactly. Before we transition fully into Malebolgia, I just want to address a couple of super chatters. Mr. Roboto,
yes.
If Malebolgia if Malebolgia I am coming back as a spawn. I have no idea what you mean, man, but I will say, if we can interpret that statement and say, if Malebolgia is real, then I'm coming back as a spawn, I guess that's fair. Yeah, I mean, certainly, who wouldn't take that deal, right? You get a rad costume, you can have powers. I mean, like, you don't have to necessarily be as dumb as Al or medieval
spawn. Hang out on churches,
right? All you have to do is just hang out. Don't shoot your green necroplasm. You'll be fine to go. And really. Comics and anime, Trigon, best devil. Also, is Raven using magic? Good question.
Again, I was going to say, if we're going to talk about Mephisto, there's obviously, in my mind, the DC counterpart, Trigon. Although Trigon doesn't get up to near as much devilish shit. He does in his origin, where it's like, oh, I spread my seed through the multiverse and my children become my portals to other worlds and everything. But he's not really a deal maker. He's not really a swindler. He's more of a destroyer of worlds type villain.
Yeah. It's funny comparing Mephisto to Trigon, because Mephisto would much rather not get his hands dirty. He's very just like, no, I'll let you do. That's my impression of Mephisto at every time, unless we're talking about like that crazy beak-faced, pointy-nippled version. Is always just like, hello! Like, he's just a big jerk clown from musical theater. And like, but Trigon is very much the opposite, where like, he's much more like, like, if you bother me enough, you will awaken a sleeping giant, and I will just wreck everything. I will mess your shit up. Is very much what Trigon is. Does Raven wield magic? If you consider her origins to be magical, which I do.
I mean, I think, she learns magic, but I think she's extra good at it because of her half demonic heritage.
Oh, definitely. But it's funny how we get these weird interpretations of the devil, because like, when it comes to Mephisto and Marvel, for example, he doesn't seem to rule or do anything.
No,
he's there. He does have dominion over certain demons. For example, he can bind them to your soul and make you look like a cool tattoo. Although, like, but he doesn't seem. I don't see him in the day-to-day, the nitty-gritty. I don't see him like actually executing, because it's not even hell, really. I mean, like, they go to hell, but even then, like, I remember in Garth Ennis's Ghost Rider book, when Johnny Blaze is in hell, he's in literal hell, and we do not see Mephisto. It is a different devil. But that's Garth Ennis. He's just like, I have some things to say about the devil and religion. But yeah, it's interesting how Mephisto wants to affect the visage of the devil, but also doesn't want to do any of the nitty gritty. Like, he certainly doesn't have the origins.
No.
He just approximates the look and then just goes like, yeah, and I'll play the part, I guess. But like, and he does a good job. I think one of his best uses is actually in Infinity Gauntlet, where he plays like the advocate, where he's just like
the devil on the shoulder.
Exactly. I like that use of that character because he is kind of just like he's just kind of a swindler at the end of the day. He's a flim flam man.
Yeah, the best you could say.
Yeah. Now, that being said, when it comes to Mephisto, he is basically like an elder god. He's like the grandmaster practically. He's an elder of the universe. But like, what the crap is Trigon, and how did he get to like
that level?
How did people start to like associate Trigon with the devil?
Again, it's the four eyes, it's the horns, it's the defloweration of virgins and everything. I think it's because he's got a real Pan thing going on, which obviously, the devil as we know it, goat legs, pointy horns, all that other stuff. That was like Puritans when they were trying to mess with all the druids and all the people who worship nature. Like, that guy's the devil, even though he's not described like that in our book, but your guy's the devil.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting, particularly if you actually look at the scripture of the description of the devil. There's multiple devils, even in the Bible. If you're talking about, I'm talking about the RNSV version, of course, but when they talk about like the one with the 10 horns and the 7 heads and everything like that, like that's not really the devil. It's more like just a big crazy demon. But yeah, when it comes to Trigon, I guess like just he is the devil that you think of when you're either a kid reading the Bible or being told about the devil, or if you're not well-versed in Judeo-Christian mythology, and so therefore just kind of like make assumptions like, well, the devil's cool, and he's got all these eyes, and he's
metal as shit.
Yeah, and like, it's funny how if you're talking about like deflowering virgins and like spreading his seed and becoming like an elemental force, that seems more like Greek god than the devil to me.
Very much so.
Sounds more like Zeus. That it does the devil, which I think is cool.
And he can change his form and do all that shit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Wow, Trigon does have more in common with like a Zeus or an Odin.
Right. Which I think is cool, and it allows you to then have him exist in the DC universe, because the DC universe, oddly enough, I don't say this very often, but seems to have had a good level tiered structure of the devil. Because there's multiple devils. Like whereas I can really not point to too many Marvel books where the devil shows up.
It's true.
I can absolutely point to a show and a Vertigo series in which we see Lucifer the devil.
Lucifer Morningstar, that's our guy.
Yes, and if you want to know more about him, definitely read Sandman, definitely read the Lucifer series, but like Lucifer is an actual character, and it's really like and portrayed really interestingly.
Yeah, that's another subgenre of devil stories where it's like, what if the devil, but what if he had his own ennui?
It's true. And it's interesting how they don't use him when it comes to like the DC universe too much.
And they really should.
They really could and should, because if I can see Lex Luthor talk to Neil Gaiman's death in a book,
that'd be pretty sweet.
Really happened, I would want to see a reference. Like, I would love to see Superman talk to Lucifer, or Batman, or any number of characters. Swamp Thing. I mean, think
of the stories you could tell. The final temptation of Superman. I will tempt you, Superman, in the desert.
That would be dope. I mean, the fact is, Constantine has interacted with him on a number of occasions, so it's definitely he has interacted with the DC universe,
or at least give a reason as to why Lucifer doesn't give a shit about superheroes.
Right. I love that idea. I would love to see Lucifer like wax Azarellian on superheroes. That being said, there is also in addition to Lucifer and Trigon, there's also Neron.
The Mark Waid creation, who never gets used that much anymore.
No, the last time I saw him was in the, I think it was like the Midnighter series, or the Midnighter and Apollo mini. I don't remember which one, but like...
That's right.
That's the last time we saw him.
Yes, because, Apollo died, and Midnighter had to go save him in hell.
Yeah, and so Neron's the ruler of hell. That's a totally different character. I don't know if we even I don't even know if Neron tries to affect the title. I think he's more like, no, I just run it.
This is my place. Yeah, if I do recall, that's what it was about.
Yeah, which by the way, like, I think it was in Sandman, though I don't recall offhand the sequence in which. Well, you know what? I don't want to spoil Sandman for anybody. So like, let's just say that somebody else gets to take over hell. And it's not Lucifer, and it's not Neron, and I'd like to know where all that fits in, and if so, how. But yeah, neat idea.
Feels like someone should have written that by now.
Totally, and I'm not saying that they haven't, because I certainly would expect it. In addition to Lucifer, so you got Lucifer, Neron, Trigon. You also have another character that they don't use nearly as often as they used to in the 90s, and I'm talking about the female demon known as Blaze.
Right. Oh, I totally forgot she existed.
Yeah, for me, I thought it was the devil. I thought she was like the Mephisto when I was like just a kid and had no idea about all the intricacies. But like, Blaze is just a sub-demon as it turns out. It's just that like she also has dominion over certain demons, and she has a real problem with Superman.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting that like apparently Blaze does. What was it? She's also related to Satanus, another character from the DC universe, who's also a demon character.
Satan has Satan in their name.
Yes, and I think she fought against Neron for control over hell. So basically what we're saying is, if you like, you know, Satan / the devil is more of an honorary title if you happen to run the place.
It's a job title.
It's a job title. So there's a lot of different like demons and devils, even if we're not just talking about those sub-demons that are just like emissaries or weapons or tools used by those rulers. It's bizarre.
And then you get into like weirder stuff where it's like, well, where does Dormammu or Shira-Gorath fall into that? Are they eldritch horrors? Are they like Lovecraftian, or are they actually Satan?
I mean, Shuma-Gorath, wholly a Lovecraftian horror creature.
I mean, just look at them.
Just by the iconography of Shuma-Gorath alone, but also the fact that Shuma-Gorath has worshippers, the fact that Shuma-Gorath doesn't seem to care about things, doesn't want to control stuff, just kind of like wants to destroy. That's very Lovecraftian. Who's the other reference you made? Because I remember that was a good one.
Dormammu.
Dormammu's a great one because, in terms of the look, it's a fiery ruler of a dark dimension.
Yeah, that sounds pretty hell.
Sounds like the devil to me, but straight up ain't, and doesn't even try. Like, never does Dormammu go like, no, I'm the devil, I'm the true devil, which would be kind of neat, actually, a Dormammu versus Mephisto story.
Ooh, I'd read it.
That'd be. I'll have Tiffany write it, and it'll be awesome.
I mean, what is it? Johnny Blaze is king of hell right now, so that would be fun to have Dormammu show up, be like, "Hey, I want this job. If anyone can take it, I feel I can take you."
Oh my god! I mean, just in the God, I just had a thought, by the way, while I was reading the new Spider-Man book. The character with the new character with the shroud and the bugs.
Blue Centipede,
Blue Centipede. I bet it's Mephisto.
That would be crazy. Although he's locked up right now in Vegas
Is
at
he?
the end of that Nick Spencer Donny Cates story.
No, but they've referenced him again. He's not locked up anymore.
Oh, but Thanos went and kicked his ass, or did that change?
I think he's out.
Oh, interesting.
Or at the very least, they could say like because we basically have established that he didn't lose all of his powers, and it's a Nick Spencer story, and that he opened with Mary Jane and Spider-Man getting back together. I'm like, maybe Blue Centipede is Mephisto. And
I mean, I think that's almost too obvious for Spencer. I haven't
seen any references to him. Like, I haven't seen any chatter online about it.
Interesting. I guess we'll see. I certainly like it.
Here's hope.
Come on, you can't do Spider-Man versus the Devil again.
I know, and like that would be a hell of an epic story because that Spencer must be gearing up towards an event.
Oh, of course.
But anyway, that's a side point. Jumping into the super chat before we move on. Mopey, it's okay. DC has Lucifer. Yes. Mr. Roboto Trigon is just Raven's dad, like Azazel.
Yes. Oh yeah. Another guy who was a devil, but not the devil.
Exactly. Doesn't count. Cam, does Surtur fall within the spectrum of devils? It's interesting that you should ask that because Surtur,
a Norse devil for sure,
is a Norse devil.
From the realm of fire that isn't hell, but is still a realm of fire.
Exactly. Like, does Hades count as hell? I know that it basically is the allegory for hell, but, like, is it I think when you're talking about Judeo-Christian myths, Surtur is his own demon and rules his own dimension. And if that's the case, it's interesting how many places of eternal torment and fire there are in the Marvel Universe.
There really is. And then you get Hell with one L, which is the real land of the dead in Norse mythology, but no actual devil.
No, just hell, just Hela.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes Balder.
And sometimes Angela.
And sometimes Angela, too, as Queen of Hell.
Right.
Good reference. Someone remember that.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, that's Tiffany loved that series, and I was just like, I like when they use Angela. You paid good money for her. Do something with her.
Please.
But yeah, I think Surtur falls under the spectrum of devils. Yeah, absolutely. Because he rules a dimension. I mean, if you're Norse, you fear him.
Yeah. And his daughter, the Queen of Cinders.
Yes. Will I Am Golden, I stopped watching Benny for this. Thank you.
There you go.
I didn't know Benny was live.
Neither did I.
Gabriel Torbo, who was Wolverine fighting when he went to hell? That's a good question. Joel, do you remember this?
It was I remember, Wolverine goes to hell, and I think they said, yeah, he fought the devil.
That may be one of the only contemporary references to an actual the devil character, but
then I don't think we ever see that guy again.
No, because I know that when they retcon this idea that every time that Wolverine was damaged to the point of death that he actually dies and goes to hell and then has to fight against I thought it was the angel of death, but yeah, it might be the devil. But he has to fight his way back to life. Just bizarre. Weird choice. And St. Lucia, who's the boss of Etrigan?
Sometimes Etrigan's his own boss. Sometimes he doesn't work for anyone.
Yeah, and I was careful to try and avoid talking about Etrigan because Etrigan is a demon unto himself, though he does fall under the purview of what we're talking about because he's from Arthurian lore, which is, of course, deeply rooted in the Crusades and Christian myth. So, yeah.
It is shown that he does indeed live in hell, though, when he's not connected to Jason Blood. There's a great Secret Six story where they all go to hell and Etrigan's there making fun of them.
Yeah.
Because he lives there.
Right. And that's a cool idea.
Which leads me to believe, I'm like, so every time he's not fused with Jason Blood, does he just live in hell? Does he get summoned to Earth? How the hell does that work?
Yeah, I like to see Etrigan as kind of like a twisted Shazam.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Hey, use that. And
Please
then what was it? Stephen Fothery mentioned. I think Grant Morrison said that Darkseid is the devil in Batman R.I.P. I know that Darkseid is the devil of the New Gods.
Yeah. In fact, his story is very much like that of the devil.
Exactly. Which works for me if you wanted to get into like New Genesian mythology.
Faith. Yeah.
And faith.
Yeah.
But as far as
very easy for you, High Father.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, like, yes, Darkseid he should count as a devil, and he is a demon, and he's a ruler of his own hellish. Apocalypse is effectively just hell.
Yeah, it is.
And you can't access New Genesis or Apocalypse without a boom tube. You can't like fly there directly unless you do when you're doing things like Superman,
they do.
Doomsday Hunter Prey. But let's pretend like that's not a whole mess of its own thing. But yeah, I'd say Darkseid counts. Although like it's not. It's like whereas you know what? Actually, I like that idea because he's very different. It's so much its own thing, even though it's rooted in the things we're talking about. Because like,
and he has his own Damien and Orion.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say because like, you don't normally see the devil like come to Earth and fight everybody or punch Superman.
Yeah,
but Darkseid does, and I think that's cool. Like, I like the idea of New Genesian like mythology being more literal. Like, no, there's a god. He's over there. Go say hi.
His
but
name
don't
is
talk
High
to.
Father.
But don't bother him. Yeah, there's a devil, and you can visit his hell, and you can like work there and die.
Yeah, but you shouldn't.
But like, if you die, where do you go then? Like, is the idea that like it's kind of inverted, where if you live on New Genesis, you're basically in heaven, and you die into life? I mean, I'm sure Grant Morrison would say that because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Because when they killed the New Gods, they all fell to Earth and became people.
Yeah. Huh.
So it's like an inversion of
Judeo-Christian beliefs. Yeah.
Yeah,
wow,
of the afterlife.
That's a lot to chew on.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like that.
That's a little messed up.
Your eternity is as long as you live, which should feel like an eternity. But then, okay, but if you become a human, then you die.
Yeah.
Where do you go then?
And I'm sure you also get sick and hungry and all those other human things.
Totally. But I'm just saying, like, if your afterlife is the thing you did before, then where do you go after you're a human? Because not all humans are from New Genesis. So
yeah, and not all dogs go to heaven. So
that's true. Even the bad ones somehow.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you wanted to even look outside comics for a second, just some comedy devils, because that's a whole subgenre into itself, the funny devil. What about him from the Powerpuff Girls? They've had comic book tie-ins.
Very weird character, him. I never understood that idea. I loved the Powerpuff Girls, but like every time him showed up, I'm like, what the crap is happening?
Is this weird lobster man reference to the blue meanie from Yellow Submarine?
Yeah, and I think like, and I know that he's supposed to be evocative of the devil. I know that like, you know, it's why his name is him and why they don't refer to him with other, you know, adjectives and like
dare not speak his name.
Yeah, and they don't say and even though when they should say he, they say him anyway. It's weird. He's a weird character and
very. Intentionally so. I think their thing is like, let's make something that all children will find scary and otherworldly.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, I'm shocked that the censors, or at least that the people who were developing the show weren't like, so the devil is a bad guy? Like, oh, no, it's not the devil.
Yeah.
He just looks like the devil and dresses like a
powers
woman. Yeah, weird. Just, and what's it called? When him gets mad...
Yeah, becomes even more devilish.
Yeah, shows off like it has like actual powers, but you can also just punch him.
That's also true. And heck, when they did their Days of Future Past episode, they make a point of saying him is the last villain who survives all of it and actually takes the form of a true devil.
And I guess in that case, then yes, him is the devil in the Powerpuff Girls universe.
Yeah. That's true. And has his own hell dimension where he hangs out sometimes,
That's
but
true,
not all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah. Although, also, like, teams up with, like, the Amoeba boys, so clearly not all-powerful.
No, I mean, no one said the devil was that great.
No, that's true.
But still doing better than the red guy from from Cow and Chicken, who is clearly supposed to be the devil.
Yes, very much the devil. That's weird. Not all-powerful, though.
No, not even close.
Bizarre. What an odd choice.
It's like you can have the devil in your kids' show, but what if they're just the butt of all the jokes?
Right, but what if they're totally... What if we take out his teeth? Which I guess is cool.
And they're totally ineffectual.
Jam Call X saying, I remember Chaos War had all the rulers of hell each fight the Chaos King. Also, if Johnny Blaze is the ruler of Mephisto's dimension, could he send Dre back? Like Dr. Dre?
He could send all the Dre's back if he wanted to, seemingly.
I think Dr. Dre's okay. I don't think.
I mean, I gotta guess that there's checks and balances in the afterlives that you just can't do that unless you invoke the wrath of something greater than yourself.
Yeah. But by that same token, Jam Call, my question is Johnny Blaze the devil?
He's taken the devil's throne.
Yeah, and he has a crown and everything. Like, I don't know.
If you sit on the throne, if you wear the crown, does that not make you the devil?
Well, except that, like, we've already established that Mephisto's not the devil.
Right.
So I don't know what the hell's happening. I guess, kind of.
Huh. Talking to you about not a comedy devil, but one from a kid's show and something with a tie-in and a Halloween connection. I tell people every year you got to watch Over the Garden Wall if you haven't. It's amazing BBC animated miniseries with what is it? Guy from Lord of the Rings, the main guy.
Viggo Mortensen?
No. Good son. Elijah Wood.
Oh, Elijah Wood. Okay.
He voices the main guy, and literally the villain in that series is a being called the Beast, who is just unashamedly the devil.
That's cool.
And he walks the line of, I am the devil's advocate, I force you to do evil things, I whisper in your ear, but also the I will mess you up devil at the same time.
Okay, cool.
He sounds like Keith David, but he's not Keith David.
Oh, that's too bad.
But guy sounds a lot like him, though. And he sings.
Ooh.
Yeah, the devil sings kind of beautifully.
We know the devil, at the very least, plays the fiddle.
Yes, yeah, and you can wager your soul at a crossroads.
That's right. By the way, I love. I read this funny little fact about the devil in the Charlie Daniels band's "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." Apparently, Charlie Daniels hated the use of its song in Guitar Hero.
Oh, but that's the coolest moment where you have a guitar duel with the devil.
Yes, but he hates it because the devil can win.
Right. Oh, and that undercuts the point of the song, huh?
Yeah.
Aw. And also, even the devil in Guitar Hero 3 is not called the devil. He's called something else.
Yeah, it's something else. So maybe that's how they convinced him to let them have it. It's like, oh, well, it's not the devil. It's one of those subdemons. You see, he should have just watched this episode. You see, no. It's a cosmic being that approximates the devil.
But to our human minds, seems like the devil.
Right, and he's doing that just to be scary. It's like in Doom, where, you know, depending on which version of the Doom you're playing, they're aliens that, like, saw our minds and used our fears of the afterlife to approximate the look of demons. But they're not demons, they're aliens. Until Doom 2, when it turns out, no, they really are demons, though. And you can go to hell and fight them. Like, which is awesome.
And keep doing that throughout the series.
Yeah. Kevin Little saying Etrigan did work for Lucifer in Sandman Volume 1, by the way. That is right. Now that I remember the episode we did on Sandman, I remember him appearing in that book. So,
well, hot damn.
Yeah, I guess so. So Etrigan is definitely a demon, but not the devil, but also clearly works for Lucifer.
Yet rarely mentions Lucifer outside Sandman, if ever.
No, well, he's out, you know?
Yeah, I'm free. Well, I'm not going to talk about my boss when I'm doing this.
Exactly. Yeah, like I'm not going to talk about my boss on my honeymoon or when I'm on vacation or when I'm kicking it in Justice League Dark.
Another good devil, and I know you caught up on Venture Brothers recently, Killinger.
Yeah, Henry Killinger. Is he
Who
the
is
devil?
He's a devil's advocate, certainly. And they seek to imply, the backers or whatever those guys, the evil vampire bankers, are either the devil's hive mind or interdimensional demons, but he also makes a lot of references, Killinger himself, that are vaguely biblical and druidic, that maybe they are what became the devil or what people in the Bible called the devil.
That's cool. I like that idea. It's a good use of that character.
Even their names, when he references his brother's names, they're all like Germanic names of the East Winds and everything. So there's a lot of lore tied up in those guys.
That's cool.
But that the devil that is Killinger ultimately advocates on the part of humanity, saying mankind must be allowed to make their own choices, brothers. We were never allowed to make them for them. And that's why the bankers are more evil, because they make the choices for people.
Yes, they go against the nature of the world, of how it should be. Tevye reminds us about Barbatos from Dark Knight's Metal, and also, of course, from Morrison's run. No, Barbatos is not the devil, because Barbatos is dumb.
There's a lot of devil-ish stuff. He has a cult, which I think more like Eldritch Abomination. I think more Cthulhu when I think of Barbatos.
Yes, I think Barbatos is an elder god. I think he predates the devil. I think he's something else that is more elemental. He's more BC kind of devil.
I existed in the time before language, in the time before words.
By the way, were you also as equally cripplingly disappointed by what Barbatos looked like in Dark Knight's Metal?
That he was a big bat owl thing.
That he was just a big bad guy in a stupid robe.
Yeah. I was more disappointed that the Hawks beat him and not Batman, after building him up as this ultimate hurdle in Batman's life.
That book has a lot of disappointment going on in it. But I remember when you see everybody and then one of them in the background's like, "Ooh," and I'm like, well, that can't be Barbatos, because that would be really lame. And it was. Yeah, I don't care for Barbatos, but I also don't think he's the devil. I think he's more like Joel said, like Lovecraftian.
It's also true maybe why so much of Lovecraft stuff goes unexplained, and maybe that's why it's like, no, if you see him, you'll go crazy. Maybe they should have done that with Barbatos. You can't look directly at him.
That would be really cool. That'd be really cool. I'd love to see...
He's so evil.
I'd like to see that description sent to Capullo.
Yeah.
If you look at him, you go crazy. So enjoy drawing him.
He's just a walking fever dream if you look at him.
Cam, I know he doesn't count, but I wanted to give you guys a reason to talk about the Devil Hulk, because why not?
Oh yeah, the Hulk became a Devil Hulk one time.
Really?
Yeah, that was the thing that happened.
Oh yeah, he did.
Which also, what Hulk is kind of doing now, he might also be fighting the devil or a demon or something from beyond the green door, which might be hell, and gamma radiation can let you get into hell.
That's a cool concept. Why not, right? You've done literally everything with the Hulk. You might as well go mythological with him.
Because as we've seen, evil spirits are kept beyond the green door because Hulk has to fight his abusive father. Right,
exactly.
So there are damned souls on the other side of the green door, so it might as well be hell.
Yeah, totally. It's just another dark, horrible place in the Marvel Universe that has a demonic ruler over it. By the way, he's a demon. He's called Devil Hulk, but I don't think he's a ruler of anything.
No.
Paul Blart...
Mall cop?
Taking a break from mall copping, who worships the new gods in the DC universe? Foragers, the people who live below New Genesis, on the planet that New Genesis is on. Because New Genesis is a city, I think, not a planet. Yeah. Or is the planet New Genesis and the city is also called New Genesis?
It's both. It's the planet, our city, or me.
Yeah, so there's a city above it, and that's where the new gods live, but there's also people who live below it, and they worship the new gods.
Right.
Even though,
no one's trying to bring that faith to Earth.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
It'll be the new celebrity religion. Tom Cruise will ditch Scientology and start talking about High Father.
Right? Why not?
Because they are alien gods. It basically is Scientology.
Yeah, it's the same. The reality is, why not worship Jack Kirby over, who invented Scientology again? What's his name?
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard. At least one created cool universes, the other one's a hacky science fiction writer, so,
Exactly. To which comic guys have been making fun of, what is it, Booster Gold had a little robot called L. Ron for a bit.
Yes, he did. What was it, Mr. Roboto? Darkseid is a dark god. When we went into Darkseid, I think he's more, he is the devil of the New Genesian mythology. It's just, but you can also literally kill him. Naked Pooper, Tom King is the devil because when I read Batman, I'm in hell.
You said it, not us, but That's
funny.
I mean, he does give us hope sometimes, only to take it away, which feels very devilish. And
Yeah,
then
his
I
real
blame
problem is that
myself.
he keeps teaming up with great artists. Brian Ford, the robot devil of Futurama.
Oh, there's another excellent comedy devil.
I love that devil. Dan Castellaneta, the voice of the robot devil, so funny. The devil's hands are idle playthings is one of the best episodes of the show.
Excellent. Again, actually shows him being a little bit more threatening there, a little bit more scheming. He does the fiddle thing. We see that in another episode.
Yeah.
So clearly, yeah, he's ticking all the boxes as far as devils go.
It's true. That's where our ridiculously circuitous scheme comes from, by the way. Is that episode. He says, my ridiculously circuitous plan is on quarter complete, which is so funny. Also, I like when Bender argues about the definition of irony throughout the episode. But anyway, yes, he's great. Mr. Roboto, Blue Devil's the devil of Earth in DC Comics. No, Blue Devil is a silly character. I know that like there is a Blue Devil and there's a whole thing, but like he's a devil. He's not the devil.
Same with Hellboy, a devil. Although he might be the devil at some point.
Right, he can earn that. Yeah, Hellboy can become the devil. And I guess the reality is like anybody who takes over hell can become the devil. So, Eric Meyer, Constantine the Legend Continues airs on CW Monday. What is this, an ad?
Yeah.
The Constantine the Legend Continues airs on CW Monday at 9 Eastern. Gotta love DC's animated stuff. Had fun meeting Sal at New York Comic Con. Thanks for all the content.
Aww.
Hey, thanks. Nice meeting you, Eric.
I think they're doing an animated movie, and also the new Legends of Tomorrow season is going to be heavily focused on Constantine.
Good. Sounds good to me.
Same. Twitch, I'm like, hey, are you bringing back his guardian angel from the Constantine show? Are you going to be bringing back any of those things? Because I think you should.
They probably will. Why not? Will I Am Golden, not comics, but Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny.
Oh,
hey,
Dave
not only
Grohl's
that, but
devil.
also in the tribute music video.
I'm the devil, I can do what I want. I'm the devil, and I don't want to flaunt. There's never been a rock-off I've ever lost.
I love that. Is that Dave Grohl as the devil?
Yes, it is. They got him in the makeup and got him to sing.
Yeah, great portrayal of the devil. Funny. Best scene in the whole movie, and best song on the album.
Yep, The Duel.
Yeah, is The Duel. God, yeah, that's great. Good comedic devil. He's also hilarious because, like, I love when he's like... The JB offers Kyle as like the collateral in the duel, and the devil just goes
back to hell.
And he just goes fine, like he's not even really interested.
Well, I like to imagine that. Well, as the devil says later, you got me in a technicality. I actually am not allowed to turn down a rock-off challenge.
Right. Like so, really, the stakes could have been much lower, but JB just ruins it. But really
I like
funny.
to imagine too that no one's actually challenged the devil to a fiddle contest or a rock off in like 1,000 years. Like, God damn it, people remember this.
Yeah, exactly.
Devil was also Paul F. Tompkins as well before that, so he was a funny comedian before he was Dave Grohl.
Yeah, that's true. We got $2. Thank you, Canadian dollars. Heartless Fang. How about the Anti-Monitor?
Definitely an anti-something.
I like that idea. I like the idea behind it. The Anti-Monitor he's like a cosmic being who does seek to destroy everything. I would almost put that under Lovecraft, but at the same time, he does have a point. He takes he takes sides, holds grudges. He has his own version of morality. But he also was he was more of a guardian. Remember in Sinestro Corps War, he was the guardian of the Sinestro Corps.
Again, I might be mixing a couple versions, but wasn't he built by a fallen guardian, and that's why?
I don't recall if he was built by one. I know that Necron turns him into the power battery.
Okay, I might be thinking of the Green Lantern animated series where they fuse a couple Anti-Monitor origins together.
Okay. Because, they turn him into a Black Lantern battery, which resurrects the dead. I guess that could be... No, I don't know if I could call him the devil.
Then you're becoming a necromancer at that point.
Exactly. Mr. Giggles, pure evil is, you say Canadian bacon is not bacon.
Oh, yes.
No.
Definitely bacon.
Yeah, Canadian bacon is it's ham.
But it's not female bacon, which is its own thing. It's closer to pork products. It's closer to Taylor ham, and we've had this conversation.
It's true enough, but you should have Taylor ham. It's amazing. By the way, I saw that they're actually selling Taylor ham in like Virginia now.
No shit.
Yeah, which is actually kind of messed up because like Virginia ham, that's like the ham capital of the world. Like, why would they sell it there? But let me tell you, if you are in Virginia, go to your local Food Lion and pick up a sack because it's really good. Just cut yourself a nice little slice and just pan fry, and you're ready to go. Pricey Yeti 40. Something to make me forget about the hurricane that just caused my campus to close. Yay. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Got like a 4th degree hurricane hitting
the
there.
Florida Panhandle. Please, if you are in the Florida Panhandle and you are battening down the hatches, stop watching the show. Add us to the watch later thing, and then and keep your battery safe and charged. And don't do this. Go keep yourself safe and join us later because, like, don't want you to hurt yourselves. Jam Call X, the devil in Broforce. Nice. Good use of Broforce. Broforce is a great game, by the way, if you ever watched us play it. And Ryo / Lucifer in Devilman.
Oh, yeah. See, I never watched Devilman, but I'm aware of Devilman.
Yeah, I also did not watch Devilman. That was not, nor did I read the manga series. What about Satan from South Park? Yeah, absolutely. He's the devil. Like he's straight up Satan from South Park. I like that portrayal. He's funny. He doesn't seem to even really be like. I mean, he's just. Yeah, he's the devil.
He also grows as a character, and he's actually sympathetic. Saddam Hussein is worse than him in the movie, and he's like an abused lover.
Yeah, no, I like the devil in that universe. He also has a great song.
Boy, in that movie. Out there.
But yeah, I dug that devil. He's great. He's very sympathetic. He might be one of the most sympathetic characters in South Park.
It's true. Also, judging by how South Park universe deals with hell, you kind of want to go to hell because only Mormons get to heaven in that universe. And as they've shown, heaven is actually super lame and everyone cool and awesome goes to hell.
Right, exactly. Which is evocative of like a Billy Joel song, basically.
Very much so.
Forgotten Cammy, late to the party, highly doubt it, but has anyone mentioned Dark Devil from the MC2 universe? No, because Dark Devil's not the devil. Dark Devil is like an obscure Spider-Girl supporting character. But he's more like a reanimated corpse than he is a like an actual, well, not really reanimated, but like he's not the devil. I would barely even categorize him as a demon, honestly. That's more like the affectation takes on. Like Daredevil is also not the devil either. And Mr. Roboto, I like this one. Is Ultron the devil of machines?
Might as well be.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked that like, because like when they killed, well no, I guess they must have done that. So yeah, I'm surprised that Ultron doesn't have like a realm of his own at this point.
Yeah. A machine realm,
right? Or just like a horrible torture realm where it's like he runs everything. I mean, Age of Ultron's basically that. But
I mean, Pimtron did have his own planet there for a bit where he was converting people all Borg style.
That's true. He also mentions M. Bison. Is M. Bison is M. Bison a demon? Is that his etymology now?
I mean, he can move his consciousness from body to body is his thing. He can start doing that. I would say Akuma is closer to the devil and doesn't Akuma mean devil in Japanese?
That I don't know, but I will say, yeah, I mean, at least he looks like a demon. Like,
I mean, if we're going to go that way about it, is Shokan the devil of Outworld? He was at least a god at one point until he turned against the other gods and said, I'm going to start winning this competition on my own.
Yeah, totally.
And if Raiden is good god, then Shao Kahn is obviously bad god.
Yeah. Although when you're getting into like Mortal Kombat, I don't think that has anything to do with with the devil. That's much more like its own weird hodgepodge mythology.
Boy, is it. And what about the Dragon King? No one likes the Dragon King.
Nobody wants to talk about the Dragon King. I mean, similarly, like, what was it? In Tolkien world, Sauron is technically the devil.
Yeah.
It's also one of the things when I was mentioning Hasatan and Satan, I was like, what? I remember as a kid seeing Fellowship for the first time, and that was the first exposure I had to Tolkien, where I'm like, why is the guy who works for the big guy, why does he have the same name? Like Sauron and Saruman? What? And then I remember getting into like, religious investigations and being like, Hasatan and Satan. Is it
Sounds
like
kind of similar?
It's similar. Like is Saruman like the arbitrator, like the emissary of the devil? Is that why he has the same name?
And then you get into like the Satan Satanus. I had a name before I fell to hell, and I changed my name.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. So anyway, but that's Sauron is more or less the devil of the Tolkien mythology. So that's the thing. Do you have any other like demons, devils devils / Satans that we didn't get a chance to talk about before the super chat jumps in?
I mean, one I wanted to say, because I think we're probably going to do a whole episode on it, but the Simpsons devil, who is just Ned Flanders.
Ned Flanders the devil. It's always the one you least suspect.
I
like that one.
You'll be gotten donut be forever on your head.
Yeah. Great episode.
So sweet and tasty.
I love actually somebody mentions in the super chat, and it kind of transitions a little bit into that. No, it doesn't. Nobody mentioned that. I'm sorry. The idea that, like, remember when when Homer says he's smarter than the devil, and then he's like, "You are not smarter than me." He like transforms into the Fantasia demon.
Love it. Oh yeah, Chernabog. Is Chernabog the devil?
Yeah. I say yes.
Messes with souls and everything, is defeated by a blinding holy light in the song Ave Maria.
Oh, totally. And of course, like, I don't know why he's not named the devil or Satan in legend, but Tim Curry, of course.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Is the perfect devil, wearing like
great voice
pounds.
for the devil.
Yeah, I mean he's physically him.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned Unicron. Unicron is Galactus.
Yeah, destroyer of worlds.
Yeah, is he a dick? Sure. Does he like rule a realm? No. Like he's just a big douchey transformer. I'm sure you could turn a religion around him. If you're Cybertronian,
yeah,
you absolutely are gonna think that's the thing.
Unicron's doomsday cult.
Somebody reminded us of the devil from Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, that's right. Who was another comedy devil and ultimately isn't too good at his job.
Yeah, that's Alfred Molina's voice, aka Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. I like that portrayal. I think it's great.
Plus, that's another great subgenre in and of itself. Faith versus science and logic.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Great use.
I mean, you could argue Rick is the devil of that world too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he has his own. Yeah, man, Rick is the devil.
Yeah, Rick is basically the devil.
But so we hashed out a bunch of different devils, a bunch of different like rulers of dark, evil realms. At the end of the day, especially in comics, I think it's interesting that no one really wants to like pin down the devil. No one wants to say like, no, the man who fell, like the angel who fell from heaven and rules hell, here he is as a character. DC's much more interested in doing that, probably just because of the British invasion from Vertigo and the use of Lucifer, and just the fact that like, I bet if DC didn't regard that era of DC so highly, they would just throw it away. But the fact that it's just so important and so like seminal, they're like, no, it's part of it, I guess. We're not going to refer to it, but like, trust me, that's a thing. But I think it's interesting that Marvel just like, no. And I think that's because like Marvel didn't really get like a British injection of talent like DC did. And I think that like Marvel is much more, it's funny how like people talk about how like Marvel's about the people and DC's about the mythology and it's like, and yet Marvel is much more like Chariots of the Gods kind of like world.
Oh yeah,
like there's
so much so.
It's almost like there's no room for the devil.
Yeah, because they're like, no, everything that we humans hold dear came from space long ago, and we just don't have names for it. We have gods, but they're the Celestials.
Right, but even they can die, and like even they came from something.
Yeah,
I which kind of. I like that a lot.
Me too.
That means a lot to me.
Because it means anyone can triumph. It means I can defeat God if I have to.
Yeah, it was handled really hackneyed by Jason Aaron in the recent Avengers run, but the idea that like Captain America that can look like Oblivion straight in the eye and like plant his feet and say no is really kind of baller. It's a Superman move. It's also a Captain America move. Kind of undercut by him being Hydra, but whatever. But
or is he? We don't know.
I mean, he literally, I think in like Infinity War or something like that, Warps or Wars or whatever, he says something like, "That's not me. Like that wasn't me. I'm not that guy."
I'm not that guy.
Well, you were.
Until they decided you shouldn't be.
Yeah. Man, I didn't talk to Nick Spencer about that. I didn't ask him about it. Damn it.
Me neither. I shook his hand and said, "Hey, I like your work." And he's like, "Thank you." I came on to him really strong. To like, "Hey, Nick Spencer. No, I like your stuff, man."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, didn't get to say, like, what was the ending? What was your plan?
We're far enough removed now. You're writing Spider-Man. Just tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Damn. It's too bad.
You, me, and the wall. There's not many other people here.
Yeah, especially that weekend. And Mr. Roboto, isn't Stan Lee God in Marvel or The Watcher? Stan Lee is something else. I think that Stan would take umbrage with the idea of being God in the Marvel Universe, particularly in the MCU. But yeah, and he's not the Watcher because he literally is hanging out with Watchers and Guardians too. Like, I think Watchers get information from him, but I don't know about that.
He is a creature unto himself. He is a creator. There is no doubt about that, but he might not be the creator.
Yeah, I wouldn't think about it.
Yeah,
too hard.
Don't think about it. You'll just go cross-eyed.
Yeah, Comics and Anime asking, final question of the night. If you had to pick a hell dimension to live in, what would it be?
Oh, I mean, as I said before, the South Park hell dimension, because it's not actually that bad.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I might take Apocalypse, because there is the possibility of leaving someday.
That some hero might come and help you out, and that you could, like, catch a ride back with Superman or Hawkman or something.
Yeah. Either that or the Marvel hell, because it's not technically hell, and I could always, like, leverage my, like, desire for, like, a demon who might want to leave too, graft my soul to him and that kind of thing. Then immediately go to Doctor Strange and be like, "Get this shit out of me, man.
Get this out." Oh, yes, another exorcism. I'm ready to get my exorcism tongs, Wong.
Right? Like, come on. Yeah, I just go to Doc Strange house. You know what you do? You show up. I'm a Ghost Rider or some variant on that, and I'm like, I have no character and no depth, but I'm cool looking. I will help them out in some big event. You know, Thanos shows up, Annihilus is back. I show up, I shoot some chains out of my mouth, I kick ass. People are like, "Whoa, this guy's awesome." I'm like, yeah, get me out of this thing.
Help.
And Stephen Fathery, Jack Kirby is God in Marvel, Mark Waid Fantastic Four. Yes, he is portrayed as God, but it's more like that he looks like him. It's a whole thing, but that's God. We're not going to talk about that. That's another episode.
Yep.
It's also not God because the one above all is God, and he's like he looks like a member of the Cure. So,
Hi, I'm Robert Smith. Disintegration was the best album ever.
Thanks. Thanks, God. But yeah, so we want to thank you all so much for hanging out with us. And by the way, if you want to hear a bonus episode from this show, go over to our Patreon, ComicPOP, patreon.com/ComicPOP, and you'll get a bonus show. It's 10 minutes long. It's a little show, just a little thank you for helping us out. And we'll see you guys next time with another episode, rolling out the Halloween haunts here on the Helseworlds Exchange. Month of Frights.
The Helseworld X Scream. Yeah, we got to work on these.
Yeah, we got to work on that. But we got at least a week, so we'll see you there.
There we go.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.